The Archeropita is believed to be the true image of Christ, painted by Luke the Evangelist and later completed by angels. The painted wooden panel depicting an enthroned Christ held great sacred and political significance during the Middle Ages. Its miraculous creation lent it the name Archeropita, a derivative of the Greek Archeropiton, meaning not made by human hand. The Sancta Sanctorum, or the Holiest of Holies, is the private chapel of the papacy in the Lateran Complex. At its altar sits the Archeropita. The chapel is accessed by scaling the Sancta Scala, or the Holy Stairs. Only the Pope and the caretakers of the icon, a privileged and small society of men, were able to access the chapel that remained locked behind heavy bronze doors. These individuals were the shapers of the image of Christ through the creation of the cover. They controlled the means of communication with Christ, as the icon was understood to be an extension of him. In the chapel, they were offered intimate access to the icon. The religious, cultural, and historical meanings of the cover would have been understood by this educated audience. Due to its housing in this private chapel, only the Pope and a few privileged caretakers had access to this connection with Christ, save for one day a year. The Archeropita's cover maps the body of Christ enthroned, with only his face visible. Aniconic motifs compositionally frame figural depictions. Flowers, vegetal imagery, palmettes, and ornamental patterns in relief geometrically delineate the space. Lining the sides of the panels, the figures of the Virgin, the Evangelists, saints, and an angel bracket the interior composition. The repetitive decorative motifs in the composition of the cover are hypothesized to reference textiles, particularly liturgical fabrics. Vertically framing the center, mapping an approximation of where Christ's sides would have been depicted beneath, figurative elements are irregularly divided by star-shaped ornamentation. They follow the quadrangular delineations of space, bordered by vegetal reliefs and a twisted motif at their edge. These twisted motifs reference the gold-embroidered hem placed along the lower edge and sleeves of various garments of the time. The simplified repetition and lack of symbolic meaning of the star motif recall the function and use of embroidered patterns on cloth during the Middle Ages. These ornamental details are similar to those used in the Byzantine Phalonion, a liturgical vestment, and textiles that covered the Eucharist. Paired with the association of liturgical textiles, the cover's iconographic references to earthly riches and power functioned as a complex metaphorical representation of the actual value of the icon, which resides beyond earthly value. The first alteration to the image likely occurred during the pontificate of Pope John X. A canvas cover was placed on the back of the wooden icon, decorated with a Latin cross. It persists to this day, though is now deteriorated. Following this initial intervention, the holders of the image further contained it within a wooden frame, and by the 13th century, Alexander III had veiled the face of Christ. This initial framing of the image's importance perpetuated the legend that the image was so powerful that the sight of it could blind a viewer. Based on the hooks found on the front of the painted wooden panel, it is likely that the icon was veiled throughout its history before the cover was placed. By the 10th century, the wooden panel was badly deteriorated and had lost its true image. The face of Christ revealed through the metal cover is not the one that was originally painted on the Archeropita. It is in fact a piece of cloth added over the wooden panel and shown through. Based on scaling, it can be seen that his face was made higher up and reproportions his body to better fit the cover rather than the original image. However, due to papal control of the icon throughout the centuries, this fact is not well known, and the image of Christ seen today is understood to be the original image.
The Archeropita's authority as a miraculous image was dependent on human framing. Human description of meaning and power to the icon were dependent on the icon's status as a miraculous image. These two forces worked in tandem to create a malleable and powerful image. To learn more, visit thepilgrimsguide.com.